Hi, I'm Josh Warner, and I'm sharing another testimony that I've had in my past, and it was just one that was really powerful and really strong, and in my life where God had revealed Himself to me in a way that you're never going to believe. So, the story goes, um, I was kind of I had been strung out for quite a few days, and was down to my last few dollars, and like always, I called someone else to kind of help me bail me out. I'm sitting at a Dunkin' Donuts, and I had a nice car, nice clothes. I wasn't really kind of the average drug-ridden, ugly-looking, dirty drug addict you might think, But I'm sitting here and I'm deciding on what I'm gonna do, or which family member I'm gonna call to bail me out again out of this situation. I was financial jam I was in. I needed money to make it to the next job. I work on the roads and millwright a lot, and I did have enough money to get to the next job site. So, so I'm sitting there, and a guy walks in, and I see him go to the counter. He goes to the counter, he buys some coffee and donuts, and he comes over to me. He goes, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "Can I sit down?" And I said, "Well, sure, absolutely." Nicely, politely, and he sat down, and he went to sip his coffee, and he goes, "Hey, would you like these donuts?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And you're not gonna eat them, why'd you just order them? And he goes, "Well," he goes, "I just come over here." He goes, "And God just really put it on me to come over here and talk to you." And he goes, "You wouldn't by any chance need any work?" And hey, I was looking for money to get to the next job site, and here this guy walks in offering me work. Like perfect, impeccable timing. Timing couldn't be better. So he went on to say that he had some tree work to do, and that he was going to pay me $100. So I said, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." So uh, I followed him to the job site. What we needed to do. We know we did our work and everything, and he introduced me. He introduced himself as Tom. So at the end of the day, at the end of the work day, he explained that he had more work for me to do the following day, and he goes, "Hey, do you need to get your clothes washed?" And I said, "Yeah, I certainly do, because all my clothes and all my tools and stuff were in my trunk." and and he goes, "Well, I'll tell you what." He goes, I got a buddy who owns a laundromat, and I went in the laundromat. I followed him to the laundromat, and I went in. The owners of the laundromat were just extremely nice, extremely nice. And the one thing that threw me off is I started talking to some of the owners. They give me a laundry soap and stuff like that. And I went in there and did my laundry. And, I introduced myself. When we sat down, we started talking. And as I started to talk to this gentleman, he started witnessing to me uh, about the Lord. And my mind was really kind of blank, because I had not really wanted to hear God's message yet. But the one thing that threw me back more about this guy is that he was an iron worker. And if you know anything about iron workers, iron workers on the road. I've worked around a lot in the union atmosphere, and iron workers are probably some of the roughest crowds out there. And this guy was definitely not your average iron worker. He had given up doing iron work, and he basically had turned his life over to the Lord and was following ministry, was studying ministry, and wanted to become a pastor. So he went on to explain to me about the government, about you know about unions and how they're messed up, and how a lot of them are corrupt and politically driven. And we got into the Lord a lot, and he said, "Hey, by the name, my name is Tom." So I was like, "Oh wow, that's the same guy I just met." So here's two times in a row. Um, so I did my laundry, I left, and that next day, the same guy who gave me the tree work had another $500 job for me. So I thought, "Oh God, this is great. I could really use the work." And During that day, uh, as I waited for this guy to call me to do more work, I found out that one of my buddies was having a party, and I was going to go to this party. And of course, what would a drug addict do with the money? Go figure, right? So I'm sitting at this gas station, and I go inside. I buy a pack of cigarettes. I come out, and I'm standing there talking on the phone, and no reason, sheriff's car pulls up behind my car, and said, "Hey, buddy, what's up?" And I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And I wasn't alarmed. I wasn't worried. I had a warrant out for my arrest at the time, so I wasn't really worried about him pulling up behind me or talking to me because he had no probable cause to approach me or search my car or anything like that because I wasn't doing anything wrong. Well, apparently, earlier that day there had been a man soliciting women at this gas station, and he goes, "Hey, you match the description of someone who was up here, and I need your ID." And immediately I knew it was game time. It was game over. I knew I had the warrant out for my arrest, and I knew it was pretty much done. So I called my ex-wife. Immediately. I'm like, "Look, I got this warrant for my arrest, and I'm probably going to jail." So, of course, the cop runs my name, figures out I have a warrant, and I immediately go to jail. Well, as I went to jail, I went to Porter County Jail, and I get through Porter County Jail, and the guy who's booking me, he's doing my fingerprints and all the other good stuff during a book-in, and he starts talking to me about the Lord. So here I have this guy, he's sitting there talking to me about booking me in, and I'm like, wow. Yeah, I've heard a lot about the Lord, the last couple of days, and he goes, "Hey, by the way, my name is Tom." And it really kind of threw me off. Like, wow, there's got a lot of Toms in my life here, right? So I'm like, geez Louise, that's pretty coincidental. And so they booked me in, and the original county that had a warrant out, that the Porter County was just the county to arrest me, and my original charge was actually in Jasper County. So they booked me into this jail, and then later on transferred me to Jasper County Jail. When I got to that jail, they went through the book-in process, and I knew this jail that they basically detain you for 72 hours, just kind of observe you to see what's going on, and before they put you in the regular cell block with population. So I reached over and I grabbed a book, and it was a book. It was called Faith Begins Here. And I picked up the book and I went into my cell, not thinking, because there was just nothing to read. And it was the first book on the top. So I figured, I got time. Why not? So I took the book back to my cell and I opened it up, and the first page that was there, the first couple of sentences really kind of just threw me off. They just totally threw me back. And the first couple sentences, this is what it said. Along the way, God sends people in our past and puts people in our lives to show us things or deliver messages to us or to help us. And it was our job to recognize that God put those people on our path. The author of the book was named Tom. Real short to this, real short and sweet. It really didn't dawn on me. It really just kind of tumbled on top of me. Here I have all these guys with the name Tom that are testifying to me and giving their testimonies to me about the Lord and about how God has changed their lives. And it was one way in my life that God used just one name, just one thing to tell me while I sat in that Dunkin' Donuts and prayed for him to show me something, show me that there was something there, to show me that he was there and that he was going to help me through this. And that's what he was trying to give me the whole time, was his message. I failed to realize the road signs along the way, but I received a message that day. And even though I did not turn my life over completely to God, even with that proof in my life, it was, and it is, the few small things in my life that have led me back to this, that have driven me to make videos like this, to want to help people, to give my testimony, to share my experiences, and to hopefully give the love that God has given me and peace in my life right now, that maybe I can give that to somebody too. Maybe if someone recognizes my experiences and seeing what I went through, that maybe they'll pay attention to some of the road signs along the way as well. My name is Josh Moore, and this is my testimony of the Tom Store.